Hi, today we're going to talk about effective delegation. Effective delegation is a really an important skill, a key skill for any leader who is looking to maximize their team productivity, their team's growth, perhaps their own growth, or the growth of the individual within the team. Let's look at some scenarios and some strategies that will help you delegate, get started with delegation. So perhaps you struggle with letting go of control. Perhaps this is because you've just been promoted and it's not easy letting someone else in charge of topics that have been yours for so long, or topics that you are the expert in, that people know you are the best person to contact. How could you elevate yourself and step up in your new role and let go of your previous role? So, here are a few things. Focus on your own team's capabilities, your team's strengths, right? Another thing you could do is reminding yourself that your team members were hired for their skills, for their knowledge, and that they are capable of completing delegated tasks. Okay? And finally, another thing in this scenario is perhaps a reflection point for you would be to think about what would you need to trust the team, to trust them. All right, let's look at another scenario. Perhaps you don't know which tasks to delegate because there's just so much to do. There's just so much on your plate. Your workload is just huge right now. What could you do in this scenario? First of all, start small. Begin by delegating smaller tasks to team members that you feel comfortable with, and then gradually build up to more significant tasks, to more significant projects. Also, think about some tasks will require an upfront investment of time on your end. And when such a thing happens and you're able to identify it straight away, which I'm sure you will, also think about the long term win on your time. Okay, so yes, consider short term, but also consider the longer term goal and game here. Okay, now let's look at another scenario. Perhaps you feel stressed about holding your team members accountable. That's not always easy. So, what could you do? First of all, you could start by creating a culture of accountability. You could start by organizing a team meeting whereby you all discuss together collectively how the team could work best together. As a team leader, it will be a great space, a great forum to clearly define expectations, timelines, deliverables for each task that gets delegated, so that you can hold your team members responsible for meeting them, accountable. Okay. Then you could, of course, open the floor to hearing about any concerns from your team members. All right, let's look at our last scenario for today about effective delegation. So perhaps you struggle with providing constructive feedback that is often needed when you delegate a task, perhaps for the first time. So here are a few things you could try. First one is organize regular check-ins with the team member that you have delegated to. Make sure that they understand the task. Don't assume that they understand. Actually, ask them perhaps how they're feeling about the task. or even to recap what they understood the task is really about and the difficulty of the task, any risks perhaps. I'm also a big fan of halfway progress check-ins to just, have a quick conversation. Where are you? Can I support you? Can I help you with anything? How can I help? Are there any blocking points? It's always better to have a view of where your team member is at halfway, rather than just kind of living a little bit of a big surprise at the end, especially if they're new with the topic, or perhaps it's the first time that you're delegating to them. All right, I hope you found those scenarios and those strategy helpful, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Take care.